want to know one of the most boring things to do? Watch a movie about people freezing to death. Takes a while. Centigrade, released in 2020, and it's another screener that I received from the great horror review website gingernutsofhorror.com, a great website where you can go to read a bunch of interviews and reviews on anything that's horror related. Books, movies, TVs, video games, it's all there, and this was one of the screeners that they had in the film section for me to review. And the title seemed cool. Yup. And this movie is starring Genesis Rodriguez and Vincent Piazza. Centigrade follows a married couple that is making a small book tour through the mountains of Norway. Again, why do people travel? In these survival horror films, that's like the dumbest thing you could possibly do. Because bad things, will happen if you travel. However, they are caught in a terrible freezing rainstorm and decide to pull over for the night. When the couple awakes, their car has been iced over and completely buried in snow. So now the two must fight for survival by waiting in their car for many days. Oh, and a little cherry on top, the woman in this car is 8 months pregnant. Of course, why wouldn't she be? What kind of a movie would this be if the woman was not pregnant? I mean, I'll be completely honest up front here. This movie was frickin' torture. And not torture in that it was shot poorly, not torture in, the script is terrible. It's not. It's pretty serviceable. In concept, no, not really. This sounds really good on paper. But then you realize that, oh yeah, freezing to death, it's not like The Shining, when all of a sudden Jack Nicholson's character just appears on screen, frozen, outside. It takes a while for that to happen. I don't know if you're getting the sense from me, but this film is frickin' boring. And that's the torture aspect of it. You're watching 2 people, soon to be 3 people, freeze to death. And I would love to do anything else with my time, but apparently this is based on a true story, or I think the actual tagline was, it is inspired by true events, meaning that, yes, something like this probably did happen, but in concept alone. Everything else is probably bullshit. Now, as this movie is going along and they're contemplating what to do, should we try to break the glass and try to chip ourselves away through the ice? Should we just wait to see if we could be found? Maybe someone will plow the roads eventually. I started Googling, hey, what should you do if your car was submerged in snow? And I found a website where it had 7 or 9 tips as to what to do. And I'm reading through this as the movie's going along because I need something to do. Because literally all they're doing is sitting there, they're rationing things out, and then, of course, they're a married couple that's not doing the best. So we get little spurts of an argument here and there. Oh, I lost my job. I didn't tell you because we were on your book tour. Some bullshit like that. But as I'm reading through this, I'm looking and I'm going, wait a minute. This is kind of the dialogue that I'm hearing from them on screen. I think the screenwriter of this movie saw this list on Google and used that for its concept. I would be shocked if that didn't happen. You shouldn't try to leave your car because you don't know what's out there. You shouldn't try to start your car because you want to maintain and keep as much battery power as possible. Ration food out. And if all else fails, start writing a goodbye letter just to keep your mind busy. That is exactly what happened on here. The film is just, I mean, it's torture in that it's just so boring. And not only is it boring, it's also frickin' predictable. It's a survival movie, so we're gonna start at this stage, and then by this day, they're gonna be here, and then by this day, they're gonna be here, and they're gonna start losing their minds, and it is nothing different than what we've seen in any other survival movie out there, other than the fact that, hey, they're just freezing to death and doing nothing. And then the worst thing happened. The kid was born. I don't know what it is about like babies in a survivalist story, like the baby in The Walking Dead. I only watched up to season 5, so I don't know what happened past that, but the baby was born, I think, in season 3, and was still alive in season 5. How? That baby should have been dead at the end of season 3. By the next episode, after it was born. Just with the whole situation, how would that happen? How would that allow for these people to still be alive? The zombies would hear them in a quiet place. A baby is born, and we have these monsters who have superhuman hearing. What's the first thing that a baby does after they are born and their airways are cleared? They start bawling their fucking eyes out. And then here in this movie, the baby's born, and guess what? They are entrapped in a very small space. And what do babies do? They love crying. A lot. And the baby was born like an hour in, and this movie is an hour and a half long. So that last 30 minutes, what do you think you get to listen to the entire frickin' time? I know a couple of weeks ago I had reviewed Bad Moms, and I said in there that, hey, if you want really good birth control, listen to parents talk about their parenting experience and how awful it is and how they get no sleep. Again, my wife and I, we don't want kids, and gosh, the best birth control is to listen to that. And then I watched this movie, and I was reminded that, oh, no. That's the best birth control. This movie is the best birth control. Because you hear that baby scream at the top of its frickin' lungs for 30 minutes. I know there are parents out there that just heard that line. You're going to go like, 30 minutes, try 4 hours at night, in the middle of the night, and I have to get up early the next morning. I know, that's your life, that's your choice. You actually have the child. I had the choice to watch this movie. I could have stopped it at any point, but I decided to keep pushing through. And now I really don't want children. Oh my god, seriously, how do you parents do it? I listened to a minute of that, and I wanted to take a pencil and shove it in my ear. And then you have to realize, like, how the hell is this baby still alive? Because it's days after. How is it still alive? It shouldn't be, because these adults are barely alive. How the fucking hell is this baby still living? I guess miracles? Huh? I don't know. This film is just pure torture, and I wish I could erase it from my mind, but sadly I can't. I will say that after watching this movie, I was such in a pissed off mood because I heard babies bawling for 30 minutes, and it's such a depressing situation. I had to watch like some peaceful ASMR on YouTube, just a rain on the water, or someone tapping wood. I love listening to that. Or I listen to the best of Ron Swanson from Parks and Rec. Just a compilation of that. It put me in a better mood. I would say go watch that, and not this movie, because this movie's biggest flaw is its concept. It's its biggest strength, and its main source of power, and its main source of plot. But then, it's also its detriment, because, hey, we get to watch people freeze to death. And I want to think that there's some plagiarism going on with the promotional art, because that text and that logo and that poster seems very similar to a couple of other films like Snowpiercer and Everest. I mean, I guess there's only so many conceptual things you can do with snow and ice and freezing, but I don't know. It's pretty frickin' close. Like, if I saw this DVD or Blu-ray at Walmart, I would think it's one of those knockoff films that come out around a big film's release. Like, let's just use this film for an example. Like, when The Passion came out, the Jim Caviezel Jesus movie. When that came out, and it was released on DVD, physical copies at Walmart, there were several other, like, small, independent, kind of like direct-to-DVD that you've never heard of films called The Passion of the Christ. The Passions, and they use the same font and the same text just to kind of trick you, or to trick your grandmother who's buying you your next DVD for Christmas. And, ooh, hey, this is the Passion of the Christ. There's more words in that title, so it's probably better than the actual one. That's what I think this movie's promotional art would allow me to believe. And actually, in concept, the whole thing kind of makes me think it's one of those movies. I'm not going to recommend this because it was boring as hell, and it was torture to my ears. Is it god-awful? No, it's not the worst thing I've ever seen. It's just, its biggest flaw is its conception. I'm going to give Centigrade 1.5 out of 5 Blu-rays.
No, sir, I didn't like it.
Alright guys, so since this is my last screener for this week, this Ginger Nuts of Horror week, we're going to be continuing on our regular schedule, and I think I have a couple of PayPal donation recommendations that I have to get to, so we'll check those out next week. If any of you have recommendations of films that you want me to review on here, leave your comment below this video, or go to my Facebook page, my Instagram, or my Twitter, leave your recommendation there. If I have access to it, I will watch, review it, and give you a shout out on the channel. And if you really want your recommendation to be done as soon as possible, you can leave a PayPal donation on the main page of my YouTube channel. Just click on the donate button. Any size donation will do, and you can leave your movie with your donation. If I have access to it, I will watch it as quickly as possible and get your review done as quickly as possible. So guys, have you seen Centigrade? What did you think about it? Did you think it was as torturous as I made it out to appear? Whatever you thought, comment below, let me know what you thought about it. And as always, if you like what you see here, if you like my take on movies, then hit the subscribe button and make sure you hit that bell so you know the next time I release the next movie review. So I will see everyone next time, but in the meantime, be well, be good to each other, and go watch a movie. Take care, guys.